Welcome to another edition of the Insider Mailbag. I'm Jared Johnson, and man, we have a ton of questions this week. I've been going every other mailbag, doing a video, doing copy, video copy. I want to get to a lot of these questions in video format this week, so let's dive right into them. First one comes from Blake65, who asked, he says, on the recruiting front, is Texas Tech still interested in Roddrell Freeman? No, I believe, as of right now, no. That's been pretty cold for a while. I think in terms of linebacker, the main guy to look at is actually the junior college ranks, and that's Tavarian Martin-Scott. Caught up with him briefly. Bottom line is, it looks like it's either going to be Tech or if a late SEC offer crops up. Looks like Mississippi State's out. I don't know if he's that interested in West Virginia. He likes Tech, but I think he's kind of still holding out for a SEC, like a late SEC offer. 6'3", 220, very athletic, sideline to sideline guy. I can see him playing Raider or inside. He checks a lot of boxes in terms of what defensive coordinator Keith Patterson looks for. So that's the primary target as of now. Next question comes from Tech 2010, who wants to know what my favorite Black Crowes album is and why. I'm going to go with Amorica because I think it's the most consistent album. And you can look back at some of the older ones, but and actually some of the ones more recent. But Amorica, just from beginning to end, I could just play that album, and there's several songs that I don't really trip my trigger. I really like where they were at, a sweet spot for the Black Crowes during that album. Prosper wants to know, why is Vasher not a threat anymore? He says, is it scheme, mental mistakes, doghouse? Too short. Yeah, he's definitely not too short. 6'6" Vasher. He actually came alive a little bit late in the Baylor game, and Bowman was really targeting him. I think with Vasher, it's all about consistency. It's something that Coach Kingsbury said back in the days that, Vasher can be as good as he wants to be, but he has a problem with consistency, both in practice and then that translates on game days. And that's really been the story of TJ Vasher. He'll produce the most amazing play you'll see all weekend in football, and then you won't see him for a month. Or he'll drop a third down pass right between the numbers with nobody around him. So I like TJ. I like what a threat he is in terms of, opposing teams know he's on the field. They definitely give him a lot of respect because he is a threat to, produce a big play, any given play. So if he can stay available and practice consistently well, I think he'll be more of a threat in these final two games. I think there's an opportunity for him there to have a pretty big impact those final two games, especially if Bowman's going to be taking the snaps behind center more than Columbi, I feel like. ExSaddleTramp has a recruiting question. He wants to know if Ty Buchanan, he's a offensive lineman at Corpus Christi, Cal Allen. He says if he's still being recruited since he told us not to stop, or has that ship totally sailed? Okay, that's the first question. ExSaddleTramp has the second recruiting question. Just answer this first one first. Yes, Texas Tech is recruiting Ty Buchanan. I think they feel like they can flip him because basically, staying in Texas as opposed to going to California, to USC. Especially since I don't think Buchanan has actually seen the area, been, not to disparage the area necessarily. I'm just saying, because of its Corona era, I don't think he's been there, been on an official visit. Obviously he's on the coast. USC gives him an opportunity to be on another coast. They're a great football program with great history, so all that makes sense. But I do think there is a chance. I'm not saying it's likely, but I think there is a valid chance the Red Raiders flip Ty Buchanan between now and when it's time to step on campus. All right, his second question is, am I hearing any wavering of commitments? He says he sure hopes not, and do all plan to sign early. I haven't. This is something I definitely need to get on. I've confirmed with several of them that do plan on, and there's going to be some early enrollees too, actually. At least, for example, I know Morton is an early enrollee. Jed Castle's is an early enrollee. I can't remember. One of the offensive linemen, I don't remember if it's Jacoby Jackson or Jack Tucker, has told me they're early enrolling, and most of them plan on signing in December. Actually, this group actually seems really tight. This is the same group. A lot of them that came in January for junior day, and then came in March for like the start of spring ball, another big time visitor weekend, and even before that, I've been gone back and really established a bond. I give the coaching staff a lot of credit for that, but I give Baron Morton a lot of staff for that, or a lot of credit for that. So I think you never know. It's recruiting, all right. ExSaddleTramp. I know you've been around long enough to understand that, but I feel like this group's really tight, and I feel like all of them are very solid with Texas Tech. So we'll see if that changes. But as of right now, I think all the guys that are committed, high school guys that are committed, I expect to sign with Texas Tech. jterrell has another recruiting question. He says, will the extra year of eligibility, which he's talking about the NCAA blanket waiver, which basically you can play one snap or every snap of the for the team this year, and it's not going to count towards your eligibility. He says, will the extra year of eligibility for this season make it harder, easier, or unchanged to get grad transfers in the offseason? I think without knowing exactly what the NCAA is going to do in terms of the scholarship limit, but with the assumption that they're going to allow schools to sign more than the 85 scholarship limit, I think it's going to be about the same. You can make arguments either way. You could say, they're not going to have as many openings because guys are staying. They're not going to have many spots to fill. But then on the other hand, I still think there will be attrition, just normal attrition, so there will be spots available. And then in Texas Tech's case, they don't have like a 20 high school commit list. And they have, I believe, 10 or 11 as of right now. So they'll have spots to fill. And then you could say that since there is an extra year of eligibility, there will be guys that were seniors that maybe weren't ready to go to the NFL, that want another year, another opportunity, looking for an opportunity with possibly more playing time elsewhere. So I think it'll about even out. And that's just my opinion. This is a new, uncharted territory. I think that's a great question, but in my opinion, I think Tech will sign a similar amount and target a similar amount of grad transfers. I think a handful of transfers I would expect this offseason. Tramp73 wants a medical update on Carter. I think most probably already know now, but I'll go ahead and answer this. He did suffer a broken collarbone, which required surgery earlier in the week, and he is out for the season. So it's really a shame. He was emerging as one of the better players in the Big 12, not just on the team earlier in the season, but had hurt his elbow, then broke his collarbone. Tough season for Keyshawn. I hope he gets better, and I look for him to be, assuming the recovery goes well, to be, one of Tech's best players moving forward. archiTTech wants a medical update on Columbi. Yeah, Columbi was in a sling following a shot he took, which was basically a really bad bruise right on the elbow, which is painful. I saw him in a sling after the game. Coach Wells said, though, that if they needed him to, he could have returned. Once again, that was his off his non-throwing elbow. And then Coach Wells has said that Columbi's good to go, and he's splitting reps with Bowman, who's getting the first team reps, but they're splitting 50-50 reps in practice. So, and both quarterbacks are gonna play against Oklahoma State on November 28th. Tramp73 wants to know what I think about holding the entire 2021 NCAA basketball tournament in Indiana. Well, on one hand, it makes a lot of sense, right? I mean, because the bubble environment worked for the NBA in the playoffs. That kind of environment works. But on the other hand, like for me, there's no way I could take a month off and go cover the whole tournament in Indiana. So I don't know what it's going to look like for us coverage-wise. It's just not viable. I can't be away from it. My family needs me. And then the expenses, even if it's reimbursed, it's going to be like you never get fully reimbursed. You don't. It's very expensive to do something like that to cover it. And a lot of times, like even for my staff, like they came out of my pocket in terms of like hotel rooms for Steven Chapman and Joe Yeager and stuff like that. So just personally, I'm disappointed, but I want it to be played. And if that's the only way it's going to be played, then I'm happy, just as a fan. And I think the Red Raiders have a chance to make a run. So I understand it. Makes a lot of sense from a logistical standpoint. I think it's going to be hard on those players to be there for a month, but then again, it could be one heck of an experience as well. So I think it makes sense, but I'm also personally just disappointed because there's just no way it'll be viable for me to be able to cover it. So that's where I stand with that. So with that, I think we had some great questions, recruiting, football, basketball. I really appreciate all the great questions from Inside the Red Raiders subscribers. I want to thank you for watching, and until next time.